Blueprints is a game that brazenly defies easy classification. It's kind of a first-person puzzle game, kind of a roguelike, kind of a strategy game, and even kind of an immersive sim. It borrows elements from the Outer Wilds, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, and the board game Betrayal at House on the Hill, but uses those elements to create something wholly unique. And while the more demanding elements of its structure occasionally tested my patience, anybody interested in a massive, robust mystery full of rewarding exploration and the sort of aha moments that are only possible by a deviously clever developer should give Blueprints a try immediately. Give a subscription to our channel a try too while you're at it. And don't forget to like this video and check out our Patreon, where you can get cool perks like 3-day early access to our weekly podcast, a shout out at the end of each video we make, and access to our fabulous Discord community. Herbert S. Sinclair of the Mount Holly Estate at Reddington has passed away. As his grandnephew Simon P. Jones, you were named as heir in his last will and testament, and the Mount Holly Estate and the land around it is yours with a catch. In order to claim your inheritance, you have to play a little game, and by a little game, I mean a sprawling, head-scratching leviathan of logical contortions. See, Mount Holly Estate is hardly your typical mansion. Its layout of 45 distinct rooms shifts into a completely different configuration every single day. And to claim your inheritance, you must find its elusive 46th room. But there are rules. You cannot stay in Mount Holly Manor overnight, but camp out in a tent nearby. And you cannot take any items from the mansion with you once a day is over. Interestingly enough, even the amount you can move between rooms each day is limited in the form of footsteps. You start each day with 50, and each time you move to a new room, one will be lost. Get down to 0 and you will have utterly exhausted yourself and need to call it a day and start fresh tomorrow. There are ways to get more footsteps as you explore the estate, but I will leave it to you to figure out how to do that. Conveniently, these rules allow Blueprints to operate as a roguelike, with each day you enter the manor being an opportunity to draw up your own floor plan from a pool of random options and see what happens. In practice, that's about as straightforward as commuting to work by helicopter is affordable. You'll begin every day in the entrance hall, where a letter rests from your dearly departed great uncle explaining the task at hand and outlining the rules. Each room will have a certain number of doors. Each door will lead to one of 3 rooms of your choosing. Each new room may have something special about it. At the simplest level, it may give you keys, gems, coins, or items, all valuable resources that unlock doors or chests, allow you to place some uncommonly useful rooms down, purchase items from the commissary, or give you tools to assist in exploration. Each room has a color that places it in a particular category too, like red rooms that punish you in some way for entering them, or green rooms all themed around plants. There are even rooms with certain elements that won't work without other rooms, or rooms that don't do much of anything at all. Or do they? I feel like there's only so much I can say about how the game is played. As layer after layer is unveiled and connection after connection is made, Blueprints burrows itself into your brain. It has a magnetic pull that even when I got frustrated with it would constantly reel me back in by answering certain questions before immediately raising new ones. See, a game like this relies on such rock-solid design. It is so challenging to engage any player in a mystery of this magnitude without filling the environments with proper clues that act as an invisible guiding hand. And Blueprints' guiding hand is as smooth as the conductor of a symphony orchestra, because despite its insistence that you solve the mystery of Room 46 without any clear-cut path forward, there is a tangible sense of progression between runs. And it's not just a your knowledge is the real leveling system sort of thing. I mean, it is that a little bit in a very cool way, but there are also very real ways that the game progresses between runs that are impressively varied and constantly surprising. I refuse to spoil anything whatsoever about it though, so I'm not going to tell you about what those surprising forms of progression are. However, I'd like to impart just 2 pieces of advice, and seriously, these spoil nothing, I promise. One is that you should really play this with a notebook by your side, like a physical notebook where you can write notes and draw diagrams and scribble symbols. You will need it. The second piece of advice is that whenever you have the opportunity to draft a new room you have not placed before, do it. Blueprints contains light immersive sim elements, and accordingly many rooms will have interesting notes that teach you something about the manor or just impart more details of its overarching story. The more rooms you uncover, the more information you'll have, and the more you'll progress in the form of, not telling you that, just trust me on this one. It's also a pretty beautiful game. Blueprints' cel-shaded look is colorful and warm, yet has a certain sense of gentle melancholy. The music is slow and somber, somehow both giving each room of the manor its own unique life while making the game feel surprisingly lonely. It ran very well at 4K resolution on my PC equipped with an RTX 4080, and I managed to get it running at a pretty smooth 45 to 50 FPS on the Steam Deck. If there's anything to complain about visually, it's that there are basically no settings to speak of beyond resolution and VSync. So if you can't run it well for whatever reason, there's not much to be done about that, but thankfully I don't see that as an issue for most. As you can probably tell by now, there's an enormous amount to like about Blueprints. Its hold on me is undeniable, and it's an experience that makes you feel smart even as it constantly reminds you that it is smarter. But I can't deny that some aspects of the game's procedural generation can feel a bit defeating. This is a mystery game that relies on you to figure out its various pieces and put them together, but then hides those pieces like cheese at the end of a rat maze and puts you at the mercy of random draws to hopefully put them together. Learning some strategies to get better draws as you decide the location of each room is absolutely part of the experience here, but the sheer volume of dead ends it's possible to hit can make it feel like you're being laughed at. It's extremely well crafted, but also kind of sadistic at times in a way that feels unnecessary. Compounding this is the fact that while each room is a joy to explore the first time, most don't actually change between runs other than what items you find in them. Sure, some rooms have puzzles that are randomly generated and get harder and harder each run, which are great by the way, but most won't even be worth exploring after you've seen it a couple of times, and especially after you've seen it a couple of dozen times. It's the same notes, the same diagrams, and the same scenery, with a vast majority of objects in each room being completely non-interactive. Having more objects to pick up, examine, and read to add to the world's lore would have been a welcome addition here. It's also an incredible shame that the game doesn't allow you to save and quit mid-run, but rather forces you to end the day entirely, losing your items and current manor layout in the process. For many, this won't be a problem because runs can be as short as 10 minutes or only as long as 45 or so, but some players with kids and other time-sensitive obligations may find the need to quit out before the run is over, and I would have hoped that being able to return to where you left off would be a pretty standard roguelike feature at this point, and its omission here is unfortunate. I want to tell you so much more about Blueprints, but doing so would simply be a disservice to you. This is a game whose main feature is the joy of discovery, and as long as you have the patience and desire to put together its pieces, it's likely to be one of 2025's standout titles for many. But patience will be key here. Trial and error, missed opportunities, and frustrating dead ends are all part of the experience and very much a feature rather than a bug. It's hard to recommend Blueprints to everybody because it's definitely not for everybody. But if you've played and loved any games of its ilk, mainly Outer Wilds and Lorelei, I'm sure you're already paying attention. Here at I Dream of Indie Games, we rate games with bronze, silver, or golden genie lamps of approval based on if we think they're good, great, or completely essential. We also have the Rusty Lantern for games with too many issues to recommend, or the dreaded Indie Krampus for games we would not recommend to anybody. Blueprints has been an incredibly memorable experience and one of the most original games I've played in ages. And while it has some warts that keep it from being essential, depending on your taste, it easily earns itself the silver genie lamp of approval.
For far too long, you, the gamer, have been denied honest gaming coverage. Indie developers and publishers have lost their voice, but no longer. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and head over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames to join this epic campaign for indie visibility. The echo chamber trembles as our message grows louder. Voice to the voiceless.